It's the Omer Countdown. The final countdown.
Hey everybody, it's Brother Aaron from Got a Minute. We've got to move our our Rapture buddy up the ladder, the Jacob's ladder here. The Omer count is day 20 of 50. Day 20 of 50 to the Omer count, Sunday, June 8th, 2025. We got a cool video here. Let's just move our guy up here. Day 20 of 50. Let's go show you some awesome stuff here. All right, guys, this is so cool. If this is what God is trying to tell us, I'm going to go slow so you understand, but not too slow that I bore you. I know most people are looking at this saying, what in the world did you write down? I don't get it. All right, let me try and explain something. I took this whole thing from Genesis 6, 13 through 16, and I put it down. First, I'll read you the context of what we're talking about here. And God said to Noah, "The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make the length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side." Okay, so this area right here, I want to highlight the 300 cubits, the 50 cubits, and the 30 cubits. This is English, but the original was written in Hebrew. And let's go over to this chart now. So I took that, what I just read, and I wrote it all out in Hebrew, letter by letter, line by line, and I believe I wrote 49 letters here, and then 49 letters there, and so on. And so what we've got is, see how it says 300 cubits and 50 cubits and 30 cubits. That's the measurements of the ark. So I put it over there. And so if you just take that, you multiply it all together, 45 is a derivative of the measurements of Noah's ark. And we've talked about 45 times 45 being 2025. Hold on to that. Put it in your back pocket. We'll talk about Lot in a second. But let's just explain what we got here. So when you just read the English, you understand the measurements equals 45, and it could point to the year. We might have some more evidence for that, but let's go to what this other pattern that I just found here, which is just fascinating. I think this is incredible. So equidistance letter skips. Every 49th Hebrew letter, in other words, if you skip over 49 Hebrew letters, in other words, every 50 letters, you get the word shavah. That Hebrew word, shin, bet, ayin, hey, shavah, here it is, H7651, shavah in Hebrew, that means 7. So every 49 letters, hidden behind the area where it's talking about the measurements of the ark, it's coded 7. Every 49 letters. So here's 1, if you count from this resh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, bang. And then it does it again, does it again, does it again. So Shavah, 7. 7 what? Well, over here in the same equidistant letter skip, from this shin to this bet to this tav is the same skipping, and that means Shabbat, Sabbath, or Sabbaths. H763, Sabbath. When God rested on the seventh day, you'll see that word in Genesis 2, verse 3. You'll see also in Exodus 16:23 talking about the Sabbath. Shin, bet, tav. So again, it's skipping over 49 letters to get that. So behind the measurements of the ark, we see 7 Sabbaths and a possible pointing to 2025. The Feast of Weeks is counting 7 Sabbaths. Whoa, that's cool. Not only that, between 7, Shavah, in Hebrew, And Sabbath, they're separated by 7 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not only that, there's 7 letters in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 has 4 letters. Shabbat has 3 letters. So we got 7 with all the letters. We have 7 letters separating the 7 Shabbats. We have a variation of 7 times 7 in a 49 letter skip hidden behind the measurements of the ark. Mind blown. I think this is incredible. I don't know if the rapture's on Feast of Weeks, and I don't know if it's this year. But if we're in heaven, I think this is how God's going to do it. I think we're going to get there, and like if it's not this year or whatever, there's going to be codes like this, I think, when we get there. But if this is the way that he was trying to tell us, this is so brilliant. Now let's go over to Genesis 18, which will give us a little bit more bang here. You know, just like the days of Noah and Lot, right? In Luke 17, remember Lot, remember Noah. Okay, so pay attention to this. The small little details. Abraham's talking with God, and he says, suppose there were 50 righteous. And he says, okay, I won't blow it up for 50. And pay attention to this. Suppose there were 5 less than 50. Okay, so Abraham doesn't explicitly say 45. Would you destroy all of the city for lack of 5? So he said, if I find 45, I will not destroy it. So the Lord says 45. So the Lord is the only one that says 45, and it's only mentioned once. 50 is mentioned a few times. I think it's mentioned, looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then over here, when it's talking about the 30s, the 40s, and the 10, Abraham says 40, God says 40. Abraham says 30, God says 30. Abraham says 20, God says 20. Abraham says 10, God says 10. The only one that stands out is the 45. Abraham doesn't say it, and it's only mentioned once, which means 45 is standing out very strong in the story of Lot. And so we have this, going back to this chart now, we have a 45 in the story of Noah's Ark measurements. 300 times 50 times 30 cubits gives us a derivative of 45. And we have the story of Lot where 45 stands out in the measurements when Abraham is talking with the Lord. How about that? 45 times 45, 2025. And then we've got this Shabbat. So, Genesis 6:13 through 16. In the Hebrew, is God saying Feast of Weeks 2025? I don't know, but what a brilliant pattern this is. So, either way, we're one day closer. Go, Jesus, go, and adios, muchachos. Hope to see you in the clouds soon. Bye.